I'm alive. I'm just waiting for it to come up on my phone because it's not come up yet.
I've had the notification say we're live.
I've got it. I've got it now.
Hey, fuck or bugger.
No violence in the chat. I'm so regretting putting that flag there. I really am regretting putting that flag there. I'm not even. I feel like halfway through this, I'm just going to turn off my camera and just pull it down and remove it, put it somewhere else.
Set forward to live.
Good evening, Paul Arthur, Aaron, Sam Yates, Ross. Good evening so far. That's the lads in the chat. I have got it up on my phone because I'd rather have it on the phone than lagging it on the computer. Hope we're all doing all right. Sorry if we didn't do one last week. As you can see, I'm in a new room, new area. If it's echoey, I do apologise. There's absolutely nothing in this room, so it's literally echo is bouncing off wall to wall. So I'm sorry if there is crap, but my connection should be better. Listen to this one, Paul. So our phone's Virgin yesterday and goes, my internet connection's crap at my new house. How much am I paying? 43 quid a month just for internet. I get 100 meg. I phones them and they says, well, we could put you on 300 meg for £2 more. I went, get me on 300 meg right now. I went, you cheeky bastard, you've been charging me all that money for an extra 2 quid. You could have had me on 300 meg. So my upload speed is massive, so it should be, the connection should be bang on now. So how are you and how's this week been so far? I know it's only Wednesday, but how's your week been?
Long. We had a late night last night. Like a stupid, gone 3 o'clock late night, and we was fucking back up at 7:30ish this morning, 7 o'clock. I'm fucked.
Was that your own choice to be up late, or was that baby?
No, the kid was asleep.
Don't want to know why you was awake then.
So the kid was asleep. I was knocking the back out the kid's mum.
No, 5 minutes.
It's a fucking good 5 minutes, I'll tell you that. No, we went out with Ben Solana and his good wife, and then we got back and we were just talking, and we never got to bed till stupid o'clock. And
it's not very often you do that, though, is it? You know what I mean?
You know what? I used to go through mad stages of like I'd wait for China to come up at 1 o'clock in the morning. I might be on to China till 3 and 4 o'clock, and back in work for 8 o'clock in the morning. And as I've got older, I can't do it. Like even the last few years, proper seems like it's took its toll on me. And if I have 8 hours, like before, I could cope on 4 hours sleep, literally 4 or 5 hours max. Now I just feel like I need 10 hours.
Yeah, but is that because you've done it for so long? I wouldn't say it's because we're getting older. I think it's because you've done it that much. It's got to be that.
I don't know. I was saying to Tash a few weeks ago, like, I genuinely used to function on not much sleep. So I'm doing a speed test now. We are rocking 8.5 meg. That's us at peak, mate.
Are you kidding?
8.5 meg, and my upload speed is 2.3.
I'm gonna do a speed check on my phone, and this is I'm literally about 6 miles away from the router. I'm not even joking. I'll do a speed test now. I've got 55 meg download, and I should have around about 20 upload now. Oh no, it's gone up 70, 73. It's peaked at 74.2, and my upload speed is 20.
Fucking flash cunt.
Yeah, but I don't have Sky Telly or all that. I just have internet. Honestly, everything's just internet.
You can stream free shit, man, with that fucking speed.
I just watch everything off the PlayStation. That's it. Stream. Everything's just streamed. Yeah, but you're on fibre. Are you sure you're not connected to your 4G?
No, I've just put the wireless on. No, if I get to 4G, I'll do a 4G speed test, mate. 40, 50 meg every time.
Joking. Sam Yates, if I ain't in bed by 10, when I have to be up at 4:30, I'm a grouchy fucker. Kieran streams all his films. You can't stream films, can you? You've got to get your Sky Box to do that. I can't believe they absolutely fuck you with internet speed, though.
Mate, but before we've gone over to fibre, we was on like 1.2, 2.2. Like, I'm talking modem shizzle there.
What happens when you live in a big house in the sticks?
Huh?
That's what happens when you live in a massive house out in the sticks. You get shit in there.
I think it's something to do with the fact that our main phone line is literally, it could not be much further away from the router. So we've got a phone line that's plugged into that main phone line by the front door that runs from about here to the Dudley shop and back. Just to get I'm fucking literally the massive long extension lead all the way to the router. And I'm pretty sure we're dropping speed through that. So
I have a box.
Weekend, I will try. I never had a plug at the bottom of my stairs, so I've got the electrician to put a plug at the bottom of the stairs. So I can plug my router in at the bottom of the stairs and come straight off the socket and go from there. I think that'll increase our speed.
Well, I've also got a little white box, and you plug it into the mains next to your router, and you plug it into your router, and then you run that. Then you get another plug, and you plug it into your mains wall, and then plug it into your computer. So basically, it's running through the mains. The Wi-Fi connection is running through the mains.
Yeah, I've got a TP-Link plug that will boost my signal upstairs in my bedroom, and it's got Ethernet out on it, so I can run Ethernet directly from that to my Skybox upstairs in my bedroom or whatever one to run it to. Really.
Internet these days is meant to be getting good internet speeds. Can't believe you're on that less.
The thing is, we're using BT fibre lines that is only fibre to the exchange. It's not fibre from the exchange to the house. If we had fibre to the house, I'd literally go over to Virgin tomorrow because they're the only people offering true 200 and 300 meg broadband.
Paul's not living in Black Country. Lives out in the sticks. Big mansion and that. He's complaining about his shit internet, but he's got 9 bedrooms.
Fucking dickhead. Not 9 bedrooms, there's 8 bedrooms and a fucking office, you dickhead.
Listen, if you think his house is big, you should see his yacht.
You do remember you don't work for that.
That's the dream right there.
That's my
That is the dream. Let's see what we're saying. Neil Pudsey doesn't have fibre available in his area. Fucking hell, we must look pixelated as fuck on his live feed. Pixie, I'm glad you said yacht. Well, I wasn't going to mention anything else. I'll tell you that for now. Thanks, Kieran. Appreciate that, mate. So let's get into some good things we've got to tell people. What was the, if they haven't seen it, what was the post that you and Tash put up tonight about a release that's coming very shortly?
We've got several releases actually. We finalised the As Fuck ranges today. So we've got 3 full ranges dropping, which is creamy as fuck, fruity as fuck, and fizzy as fuck. Each one of them ranges will have 4 profiles. 3 of them will get dropped straight away. The 4th flavour will get released at Expo in May. We've also got Birmingham Fog Blue Pub and Custard Chucker dropping. That should drop next week. So that'll drop before the fizzy as fuck stuff. We've obviously got the Wire coming as well, which should come by the end of the month. Last week we launched the ME, which has been fantastic. I think we're as good as sold out of product.
I'm going to be honest, deadly honest with you. Say it was released last week. it's gone amazing, really has, and the feedback from people has been mint.
That's good. We've had some good feedback from some high-end squonking people who only squonk. I sent another one out yesterday. I don't even know too. I can't remember the gentleman's name. It was someone who Rick Riyad suggested I send it to. But Rick messaged me yesterday and said actually Rick said he's extremely pleased with his.
Well, I'm just running the at the minute on the notes that attached at me, and I'm so happy with the performance on this. It's unreal. The flavour on the atty is just banging. Even just on the squonker, it's wicked. I love it. I've not put it down since Tash at me. I think it's brilliant, and it's got the same build I've got in my mech. You know, it's no feisty. It's just a flavour build, and it's working perfectly. And flavour's banging on it. So I think a lot of people are gonna realise it's there and the price point of it, and I think it's going to do really well personally.
Another run of the Emmy. I've already ordered the next batch of Emmys, so they'll probably be with us maybe the first week in April, something like that. So Sam Yates knows Blue Pup and Custard Chucker, the two juices I started on. For anyone that's used Custard Chucker, you will know he's genuinely up there with the best custard ever produced. It's fucking banging. And we've replicated it perfectly in a short film as well.
So what's it going to be available? 100 mils, 120s?
50s.
It's going to be available in 50s to 60 short film, yeah?
Short film, yeah.
Do we know the retail price of that yet?
It's going to be sub 15 quid, so I'm thinking 14.99 with the shot.
Can't complain there at all. Does the MERDA come with the squonk pin? Yes, it does. It comes in the kits and it comes in the RDA, doesn't it, Paul?
It certainly does. It comes with everything. It comes in the mod set and it comes in just the RDA on its own. So what have you been up to this week, Thomas?
Say that again.
What have you been up to this week?
I've done a video today on cleaning the plated mods because, as you guys know, that is one of the bugbearers of mine is people saying, why is the coating coming off my mod when you put Brasso on it? So I sat there and I've been sat there for the last couple of days. How easy can I put it across to people? And I did the video. It took me about an hour to do the video. And it's simple because I know for a fact Tash has said it. I know you said it. I know I've said it. I know everybody in the store said it. Don't use abrasive stuff on plating. And I have to do the video because it is one of the most common questions we get asked is how do I clean a plated mod? And I'm going to be honest, I went out and I looked on YouTube and I looked at, is there any information out there from other mod companies that do plated mods that have put that information out there about cleaning it? And there was zero out there that I could find. And it's so simple. People are literally using Brasso, they're using that mother stuff to clean.
Oh, mate, I've went down to the silver plated mod and all my fucking plating's come off in shit.
Well, I did the video and it could see the handprints on it. It's one of the most common questions. It needed to be done. I've got a lot more videos in the pipeline that I am going to be pushing out onto the Endless page. I'm thinking of how to do battery safety very simple rather than going through everything, because I think with the videos it needs to be very, very simple. And this is no offense to anybody out there. This is obviously the videos are main aimed are for people to obviously revise what they should know already or using tubes, but people are wanting to get into tubes. You know, if the information's out there, rather than sort of we do enjoy obviously getting messages and stuff. Obviously 2 o'clock in the morning is a bit of a piss take, like, but yeah, we don't mind answering messages. But if the information is there for us to give out and to show that the information is already there on a video, that's perfect. You know, we can all use that information, and it just doesn't relate to Endless mods. It uses every bit piece of kit that you've got, from battery safety to Ohm's law to cleaning to maintaining. You know, that information should be out there. It should be ready, available information.
Yeah, I'm genuinely happy to put other people's products on the Endless channel if it benefits people out there as far as the way the switch works or the switch comes apart or whatever it might be. I don't particularly want it exclusive to Endless. I actually want to try and get as much information out there that helps vapors, even down to mouth to lung videos and stuff like that, because ultimately I want a channel that, I mean, we do this live feed just to have a laugh and a joke, and sometimes it's an opportunity for me and you to catch up just because we're so busy in the week.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity for people to get involved and have some input into what we're saying. It's an opportunity for us to let you know what news we've got going on. But I mean, this week we haven't got any guests on, only because Tom's fucking lame, quite frankly. Like I said to Tom at the start, I don't want it to be 2 hours of just pushing Endless mods, because we can do that all day, every day via social media. I don't want it to do that. And this week it's going to be predominantly about Endless because we've launched the Emmy and we've got the new liquids coming and we've got the Wire coming and Expo's only just over 8 weeks away, and so we've got a lot going on. But actually, I do want other people involved in the show. I want people who can come on, who can have an opinion about something and stuff like that. And then
well, we did mention a couple of weeks back, because obviously we didn't do the show last week because obviously I couldn't get in because I'm moving. But I do want people to be able to message me and say they want to come on the show and speak about something and debate something. So if there is people in the chat that do want to feature on the show and feel like they've got some information to put out there we could debate, by all means, drop me a line and then we can obviously go over to whatever you think is good, because I think debating in this industry seems to be non-existent, in the fact that people are like, well, I've tried a liquid and it's shit, not seeing what the liquid is, not discussing it, why it's this and this, that, the other. And it's sort of, the debate side of it is not a debate. It's literally one word and that's it, rubbish. Doesn't matter what brand it is, doesn't matter what device it is, it's rubbish. If it's not what you don't like or what you prefer, it's crap. And at the end of the day, I prefer somebody to come on and say, I've got this device, or I've had this, or I've had that, and this is my opinion, and this is why it's my opinion. I think our culture is very much a broad culture of a lot of different open-minded people, and I think we do need that to come across. And it would massively be cool to get people on who's just a regular vapor and discuss what they think to debate. So if anybody's up for it, please drop us a line and we can discuss something, because I think this is what the industry needs. It needs open opinions and to be debating stuff rather than just one word shit.
That's my lighting setting if I'm doing a crime watch video. I was walking across park and I seen a man with a mask on and he had his private parts in his hand.
How long were his trench? You know, I do think this channel has got massive things to give back to the community and to get people involved, and I think that's one of the main things that we could do with this live show. And I do want people in the chat to, you know, tell us what they think and what they want to do with it. You know, this 2 hours is a community thing. It's not necessarily just me and Paul wanting to sit here and push Endless all day long. It's about the community and having the fun back in the community. That was the whole point of us doing this. So if anybody wants to be involved, let us know. But yeah, don't wear a trench coat and then stand up all of a sudden, because we might get kicked off YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. So if anyone's got any issues they want to discuss specifically, obviously message Tom, because if you've got a little bit of time to know what content we're doing, then obviously the show will be better than just us winging our way through it. Now, generally, I'm pretty happy to wing my way through whatever needs to be winged through. But I think to give the show some decent content, if we can get to the point where we're 2 or 3 shows ahead and know what we're doing, actually gives an opportunity to get in touch with people, get people arranged to be on the show, and also have a healthy debate. I think the thing at the moment is, as Tom's saying that there's not much debate out there and it's all very one-sided stuff. Quite honestly, it's because there's a load of wankers doing live feeds who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. That's my personal opinion. That's not me knocking anyone in particular. You've got people out there reviewing e-liquids who don't know a fucking PG from a VG if it kicked them in their fucking gyro. And I said I'm on a live feed yesterday, and maybe twice yesterday. I done a live feed going into work, I done a live feed coming out of work, and there's a massive, massive difference between a shit e-liquid and an e-liquid that you don't like the taste of. Now, we've spent hours and hours and hours at the manufacturers that are doing the AF juice for us, and we've tried, I don't know, 50, 60, 70, 80 different profiles of liquid. And I can honestly say that none of them are bad liquid because they don't make bad liquid. Some of them are fucking horrible to me personally because I don't like watermelon, for argument's sake. I don't like lychee. I don't like mango. However, one of my favourite liquids to come out of all of this is the mango pineapple cream. It's fucking fire, which is madness because I literally like people used to come into our shop vaping that fucking Fantasia mango, and it's like they're exhaling sick. It like literally turns my stomach. I fucking hate it. And when someone had passed me a mod and said, "All right, mate, can you just see if you think that's vaping right?" and I'd have a blast on it, and it's fucking mango. I wanted to punch them in their cunt just for catching me out. That says we also, I mean, we haven't got it in these first three ranges, but I vaped one of the lychee flavours, which I don't like because I don't like lychee. And lychee is very, very heavy at staining cotton. So if you vape the lychee, it'll stay on there for a long, long time. And then after that, I vaped some pineapple tropical one. And the lychee that was in the background on the cotton actually was really, really nice. So again, there's too many people out there who don't know what they're talking about. I've had an inbox message down the page saying 4 people have come up with a new idea for reviewing vape stuff. Their new idea is that 4 people are going to review it, so they want me to send shit out to them. And I'm just like, you're an absolute fucking dickhead, mate. I don't even understand what's new about that, apart from the fact you still don't want to pay for your shit to review it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
4 times out rather than 1. I think these, especially with, I think 3-4 years ago when I did reviews and stuff, there wasn't people on the internet doing it. There wasn't at all. There was no market for reviewers and stuff like that. So when I got into reviewing personally, there was something there. We bought all our gear. I never ever even went down to when you sent me the first endless. I didn't message you and say, "Paul, can I have an endless?" You sent me it because you wanted it reviewing in an honest opinion. You know, so many people are buying kits now or on Facebook and putting information out there anyway that there isn't that much need for reviewers because people are purchasing gear and trying new gear all the time. Fuck me, there's a new smock fucking kit out every 2 weeks. You know, so personally, reviewing is all, especially juice. Let's get down to juice and reviewing juice. It is such an individual thing is juice. You know, just because I like it don't mean you're going to like it. And exactly what you said earlier, the fact is you don't like lychee, you're not going to go to McDonald's if you don't like McDonald's and go, fucking hell, that was shit. When you didn't like it, you don't like it. It's absolutely pointless. Somebody trying a menthol juice who doesn't like menthol, you're on menthol all day long. Someone else might fucking hate it and turn around and go, it's a shit juice. But it's not. It's just not your preferred vape.
What I've never, ever, ever, ever understood nor took any notice of a liquid review. The hardware review is a good reviewer. I mean, first of all, if you look at a product and you like the look of it, that's the starting point. You either like the look of it or you don't. On that basis, the review then will consist of the pros and cons of that device, what they found good about it, the way that the chipset works, the way that the coil works, the way that it vapes, the flavour, etc., etc., etc. Although they're still very subjective points, it's much easier to say this chipset is good because fire. It's got a 0.04 second fire rate on there. It doesn't switch off and you've got to click it. I've got a mod in my office. It's EH Pro mod, and we had some sample gear sent to us because we were looking at bringing out a regulated range of products. Now, quite frankly, I contacted EH Pro because they were so good at making clone back in the day that they've got a fantastic manufacturing facility. the chipset that they use in their mod is fucking crap, and it's fucking shit. I've got a Nautilus X on there, which I've used Nautilus tanks in varying degrees for a long time. Probably in that tank, it's got the 1.8 ohm Nautilus core, which was my go-to core for over 3 years. I've run it on every other device at somewhere between 11 and 12.5 watts. On that device, I was having to run it at 17 watts. If I put it down and had a conversation with you on chat, I don't even know what the time is, but when I pick it back up and go to take a vape, it don't fire. So I thought, it's got that stupid thing on where you've got to click it. You've got to click the cunt 5 times.
Turn it back on.
It turns back on. And then you take a fucking couple of drags and you put your mod down and you take a phone call, pick it back up, fuck all. And I was like, Jesus, it's shit. The button's clicky. It is just a shit mod, in my opinion. And this mod retails at around about 45 quid. I think it's a 80-watt device. So it's not cheap, really, for what it is. But it's just not good. Now, them are facts. Now, them facts of it not being good, other people might say, I really like the fact it switches off from a safety point of view. So if it's in my handbag, it's switched off. So even if you don't agree with my points about what makes it good or bad, you still get an understanding of what that hardware is doing, how it performs, how it works. You can make your own judgment. With a liquid, it's literally bollocks. Absolute bullshit for someone to sit there and go, oh, fucking hell, that's gorgeous. Like, literally, it's absolute bullshit. We have an issue in the shop, and I see it on Facebook regular. I see it on the daily on Facebook with people saying, as an opening statement on a post, someone recommend me some liquid. And you'll see someone go, for argument's sake, try custard chucker from Birmingham Fog, it's fire. I don't like custard. What the fuck are you asking that question for then, you prick? At least say, I'm looking for some new flavours. My preferred choice is fruits. My preferred choice of fruits is citrusy fruits. Fuck, maybe we've got a starting point there. And even then, I might say to you, try Love Bite by 6 Licks, it's fire. And you might get that and say, it's all right. It's not my fucking thing. It's nice, but it's not what I was looking for. Now, to me, it's fucking a bang on liquid. I love it. It's just bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. And it's people trying to get free shit. Simple as that.
Well, it's going back down to like reviewers and stuff and reviewing hardware to me. How long's that EH Pro mod been on your desk?
12 months.
Longer than 5 minutes?
12 months.
You've not just opened it out of a box, put a battery in it, put a mod on it, and then decided it was shit.
These dickheads that do an open and reveal review at Pratt's.
And they've had the mod 5 minutes, turned around and said it's the best thing ever. You've had it 5 minutes. You know, it's down to the fact that they're trying to get the review out first, be the first to get that review out. But that's not an honest review in my eyes. The fact is that if someone tells me they've had a device 2-3 weeks, a month, and turns around and goes, I've had every aspect of this mod, different builds, you know, I've done different things with this mod. This is an honest review because I've had
temperature control, I've run it in non-temperature control, I've run it in, I mean, that mod that I've got there, that EH Pro one, you can have it running in temperature control, you can have it running in standard watt power mode, which is your watts, and you can have it running in direct mode, so it's literally running off direct battery power. It's fucking shit in all three. Because that chip is funky. It don't seem to power at the right level, in my opinion. Again, I say I've used the Nautilus core for a long time in a Nautilus tank. I know that 12.5 watts, anything more than that is too throaty for me. That fucking thing, 17.5 watts, and it's still ramped up like shit. You know what I mean? At 17 watts normally, the fucking ramp up's there, and it's probably too much. It's too dry, and
yeah,
if you have a few drags back to back, you're dry eating. That fucking thing. I need someone in my office on the daily, one to switch it on just fucking 5 seconds before I'm ready to use it. And then as soon as it's fired up, he's hold the finger on the fire button. Well, I finish my conversation. So by the time I take a drag, it's ready to fucking vape on. Shocking.
But that's honest, and that's an opinion that, you know, You've not got any ties with the company. You know, you're not promoting to promote sake wise. I'll be open and honest, and however many people are watching this now is whenever Paul tells me about something we're going to do, and if I think it's shit, the first thing I do is I say I don't like it, and I work with Paul. It's not something you know what I mean. At the end of the day, you've got to be open and honest with these products, because let's be realistic. You say to someone, this product's amazing, 20 people go and buy it and turn around, it's shit. Then they're straight away going to go, well, you're a fucking liar. You know what I mean? You're going to have no honesty from the people who are going to go straight away, going to go, yeah, whatever, you're talking shit because it's absolutely crap. You know, at the end of the day, I think it's down to being open and honest. And I don't believe, and this, I might be wrong, but I could probably count on my hands how many honest reviewers there are out there.
There's not many. There's not many. And the thing is that obviously we sent out various mods to people, and we give some to people like Adele and people like Adam, Adele's brother, and Stu had some mods, you had a mod. And with respect to you guys, I'd be very surprised if any one of you 4 people individually went on, done a live stream and says, I just wanted to say thanks to Paul for Emmy, but I don't like it. It's fucking shit. And vice versa, I wouldn't want any one of you to go on there and say, fuck me, this thing is best thing since sliced bread. If you've messaged me in the meantime and says, I don't like the deck, I don't like the way it works. People like Rick, who is an out-and-out joker, he'll take the piss out of anyone. I also know and respect that he would have been 100% honest with me.
Mm.
And Rick inboxed me and said, mate, this fucking thing's mint. He says, if it were me, I'd drop the air holes a bit. Now, I think the thing with the air holes is when you look at the air holes, you probably can't see it on there because I ain't got a posh camera like fucking Tom. They look like they're very, very close to the top of the RDA. But if you take the RDA cap off and line it up with the posts, they're actually just in line with the top of the post. Yeah. So again, you can't really see that. I'm going to go back to Police 5 mode. So you might not be able to see that. Probably can't because I've got big fucking clumpy hands. But so although the air holes look like they're set really high, actually there's not even 20 mil from the bottom of the cap to where the concave comes in on the deck. When you look at like an old 22 mil troll, for argument's sake, the RDA was as high to our drip tip before the drip tip went in it, if not higher. So we've tried to sort of sling the deck down as low as we can. I've tried to keep the chamber as low as we can. Therefore, the air holes have got to be at a certain height. Otherwise, they're just too fucking low. Now, bearing in mind, when you've got your holes there, our well comes to over halfway up this cap. Do you know what I mean? So, and actually, when I said to Rick, if I put the air holes any lower, mate, the post will impair the airflow. He went, oh, you're fucking right, actually. It was more a visual thing. So, but he did say to me that it worked very well. It swung very well. The well was nice and deep on the RDA. That the airflow for him, he said, his words were, it's perfect. Now, for me, it's perfect for this RDA. I've got some samples coming with just one single hole this size. So at the moment, we're currently running 4 holes to either side. I've got one coming that's slotted across both sides. So the holes will be joined as a slot both sides, which then you can run your 0.1s and get some fucking badass clouds for days, bro. But I also think when you get down to 0.1 on this, I think the flavour potentially could increase as well when you've got some decent power behind it. Because I certainly find it like on the Stack Dirty, for argument's sake, for how big that chamber is, I've never ever had a flavour issue with that.
Yeah, once it's got big built coils, stacked coils in there, it fucking does it.
Obviously, that's quite low as well. That's only 20 mil from top to bottom. It's only exactly the same height as a 24 mil Slam, that is. It's just 34 mil. But the posts are wider. The build will be bigger in there. Chamber wise, and obviously we're still using a standard 810 drip tip in it. So you have got some sort of condensing going on at the point of it trying to go through the drip tip. I've never ever had an issue with flavour on a 34 mil Slammer. And yet, if you think back to our very first RDA, which is the one that you reviewed, the flavour off that, quite honestly, was shockingly bad.
It was airy, wasn't it? It was very airy dry. It was very much.
Even if you shut the air down, the way that I'd designed the airflow weren't particularly. I mean, to be honest, I was a bit naive and I was a bit like, let's make this airflow as big as we can. I've never seen an airflow with as much airflow. I've never seen an RDA with as much airflow as the Endless Clouds one. And even when I stacked it up, and obviously I was thinking, fuck me, this has got to be stacked. And we had some prototypes come in, and I was like, yeah, it needs to be extra. But the reality was, even when I used to run it less than half air with the stack build in there on the stack mod, it was still too much. It still weren't right. And then we brought out the slam, the original slam, which was fixed. It was a bit like the tugboat slam, where no airflow control on it.
Was the hourglass before the slam, or was the hourglass after?
The hourglass was actually. I'm trying to think what way it come out. I think we had the Endless Clouds V1. Then we had the hourglass, which genuinely till this day is still one of my favourite RDAs for flavour.
Flavour, yeah. Flavour. It wasn't used as a flavour RDA though, was it?
I mean, and to be honest, that RDA was designed after Todd done a review on the V1, and obviously Todd is not a stacked vapour kind of guy. But I also knew that Todd would be honest with me and say, this is what I like about it, this is what I don't like. He done the voltage drop test, and it was showing next to no voltage drop, which all them things were the sort of things that I wanted verifying more than anything. And then he did say that obviously, even with the airflow down, it's still too much for him. Now, what I do want to do, I want to send Todd one of these because I know Todd is sort of a semi-restricted lung vapor. Just for his opinion, I don't want him to review it. I don't want him to go on and say it's the best thing since sliced bread or it's shit. If he wants to, he can. But I mean, to me, it was more about getting a personal message back off Todd saying, actually, that's the way that I think you should be going, or what you've done is right or not right, because this style of vaping is new to me. So all the prototypes that we had in and tested, it's just me assuming that that's about right. Now, Rick's come back and said that airflow is absolutely perfect for that RDA. Obviously, there's other people out there that are already banging fucking big holes in them, going old school with a drill.
Yeah.
Cool. And then I've also got one coming in with just one hole, one single hole, one-sided, which is perfect for mouth-to-lung vaping. And then I want to try and have a crack at mouth-to-lung vaping properly on a mech because I've never been able to do it successfully. Maybe this is the RDA to do it, I don't know.
Sorry, I always call him Raoul Meadows. What have we got to look forward to hardware-wise from Endless?
We have a new 25mm mod coming, 24mm mod. It might
don't let too much information go though, Paul. I'll tell you to calm down and not let them know that much.
we've got a 24mm mod coming. We've got a new sleeve mod potentially coming. We've got a 30mm mod coming. We've got a new deck coming for the 25mm, and I'm literally working on the new deck for the 30mm. I want the 30mm one to be something quite funky if we can.
Well, you released the CAD pictures, didn't you, of the 25? Was it 24? Sorry.
Well, it's actually 20. It's the same size as the V2S, so it's actually 22 point something. By the time you've got your cap on, you can get 24, 25 now.
Which was the V4S, wasn't it? Yeah. So if you haven't seen that, and Paul has released a CAD drawing of that, you can check that out on the Endless page as well. I think that looks funky as fuck. I just can't wait to put the other one on.
Yeah, I mean, what it is, it's an ME with the ability to dual coil it very easily, or you can. The gap in the middle is going to be around about 12mm, which means you can get 2 3mm wrapped coils side by side. They're going to be very close in the middle, but you can get them in there. Or you could go for a 4 or 5mm single coil and just use the leg on one side, do your coil. So do like a K-Fun style building it.
Yeah.
And run it single coil, but with the 0.1. I mean, I fucked about with that 18 gauge 980 the weekend on the quad stack dirty, and I've done 10mm wrap coils.
I saw that.
18 wraps, single coil, and it was. I took it out. It was too much. It was fucking. I don't even know what it owned out at. I could tell the way that it was so warm, and I mean, there's a massive airflow on the dirty RDA on the 34mm slammer. It was still not enough with a single coil in there. It was ridiculous.
fucking mad. So we have got lots to come. There is obviously the juice line coming, the wire coming, and there's obviously mods being worked on. Paul don't stop. If you haven't took any notice, we're on episode 5. If you haven't noticed already, Paul does not stop. We've only just released the Emmy last week. Paul's already working on something new. I think it goes back to the fact is that what you said last week. I think you've probably said it about 3 or 4 times. Once you go in, and you go 110%. And I think at the minute, the way everything's going with the community and everywhere's going with sort of the style of vaping now, I think it's fucking perfect. The Emmy for me, especially with social media and stuff like that, has had a massive push forward, and the comments that have come back from it has been real, been really real, and I've generally appreciated. I know you and Natasha have generally appreciated it, and it's that coming back to the fact that everyone's been genuine about it. You know, if someone said they didn't like it because of this, but I personally don't think. Well, I know. I've not seen any negative back from it yet, if there is any, and I've not seen it. So if there is any negative out there, I'm sorry I haven't seen it, but I haven't seen anything negative about it at all.
No, I think the only negative stuff I've seen is to say it's not airy enough, and it's for people that have bought it on the proviso that they're running probably 0.1 build, and they've tried to replicate that in the RDA. On the website, we recommend 0.15 or above. I'm actually running just under 0.2 in this. And it's still, these coils are fucking fire. I mean, that's 0.2 single coil. And it's still, it does what it needs to do.
I think it's going back to when we discussed the fact is that mods were trying to do too much rather than concentrate on one aspect of vaping. You know, that the Emmy, as we've said, was to be used as a single coil, restricted lung hit and for flavour. And as you've said, people have been trying to whack like 0.1s and lower and going, fucking hell, this cap's getting warm. Not realising, fucking hell, it's just not the build that it's meant for. And one of the main aspects we said is we wanted to focus on something that would do one sole job.
Yeah, and I think the deck. I mean, I'm not a pro squonker by any stretch of the imagination. I squonk, and I've got squonk boxes and Tasha squonks. But the primary thing for me was to be able to replicate a squonking style vape on a tube.
Yeah.
On the basis that there's a lot of people using squonks or tried squonks, and their style of vaping has completely changed to what it was this time last year. And on that basis, I just wanted something that was replicating that style of vape for someone that still wanted to use a tube. And for me personally, and it sounds a bit pretentious because I designed it, but actually, I just love this little mod. I love the stealthiness of it. I like the way the switch works. I'm enjoying this style of vaping. It's doing what I need it to do for me. On that basis, I've cracked it for me, and pretty much everything we've done from the start, I've ironed out issues that I've got with other people's hardware. Now, that doesn't necessarily make it perfect. It just makes it perfect for me. And then I'm working on the assumption that if I like it, there's going to be lots of people out there that like it, as much as there's going to be lots of people out there that think it's dog shit.
I just think that the whole style of vaping from a year ago, as you've said, gone back to squonking and stuff like that, has definitely changed. The point is that people aren't needing to run low builds because you've got, for instance, like the Emmy, where people are using, I think Raoul saying here he's using a 0.19, and it's absolutely perfect for him. Probably last year he's probably running a 0.09. And that it was getting exactly the same performance and probably the same flavour. You're running a lower build. People are now sort of changing their style of vaping because let's be realistic. If you put VG onto your coils and vape VG, you would not enjoy it. But because you want that, everyone's sort of chasing flavour rather than chasing just necessarily just as much cloud as you can produce. I think it's now come to the point where people are actually vaping and realizing that you can get decent flavor and not have to whack a stupid build, a low build in it, a super hot sub-ohm build. I think it's a perfection of vape now. I think that's the way we are in the industry, is perfecting styles of vaping rather than just vaping for vaping.
I think that the other thing for me, I mean, I'm waiting on a prototype Slam'em, 22mm Slam'em that's slammed much lower than a fucking standard Slam'em. So it will be a very, very small 22mm adjustable airflow RDA. And the reason why I've done that is because, like we said the week before last, 4 years ago, mate, there weren't such thing as a 24mm mod. Every comp was on a 22mm mod, and people were still entering cloud comps with 22mm wads, and they've still got a lot of capability. So I think the reason for that cap is to sort of just to let people know you haven't got to have a 24mm or a 25mm or a 28mm Dragon or a 34mm Dirty to get a low bill kicking arse. You just haven't. You can still do it on a 22mm mod. Now, my honest opinion of this little mod is that the voltage drop on it is exceptionally low. It works fantastically well. And on that basis, if you start getting 0.12s in there, dual coiled on a nice little two-post deck like the V2, we've got the V2 S22. Is it called the V2? Yeah, the V2 S22, which is basically a two-post version of a V2S. We already do that deck. We've done that deck. It's same size as a battle deck.
Yeah. Is it 8? I thought it were 20mm or 18mm.
20. It's 20. It's actually 20mm.
20mm, isn't it? Yeah.
Takes a 22mm cap, or obviously 24 if you're running an AV style, because most mod fathers were all mod fathers were 24mm, weren't they, on a 20mm battle deck? So
yeah.
But we got lots coming out and lots I'm messing about with. I want to do a series, and I want to do a parallel box as well. Very, very small series box and a very, very small parallel box.
The box has been on the cards for fucking as long as I've been around. And that's been
right from the very, very start. Tasha posted a few weeks ago the series box prototype that we had right back in the day with the sleeves on it, so you could change the sleeves in accordance with the whole endless thing and swapping sleeves about and whatever. The reality is now we can do a much smaller box now, because even using the sort of technology that we've put into that ME switch that drops everything lower, there's no reason why we can't put that into a series box.
Yeah, Macca Vapes is here saying, for me, I think I prefer the look of the Dirty, but each to their own. But that don't mean I'm not going to try the ME. The reason, and this is a lot of things with people, is when we were using 22mm mods, you say 2-3 years ago, and then we started using 25mm mods, 30mm mods, and 34mm mods. You thought you had a fucking monster in your hands, but everyone's sort of being used to using bigger mods now. And because you're going to smaller, you're then thinking it's not in your hand. Like the ME, as we've said, weeks and weeks and weeks, can be covered by a hand. You know, you just see the tip. But you try to do that with a Dirty, you've got no fucking chance.
No, but what you've got to bear in mind, Tom, is the new 30mm mod is only that high as well. It's just 30mm in diameter.
It's going to be cheeky, is that?
The new 24mm mod is only that height as well.
Sorry, I do have a visitor. Come and say hello and then say goodbye. Say hello.
Hello.
Hello, Poppy.
Hello.
Hello, Paul.
Yes.
You going to bed now?
Yeah.
Oh, kiss then. Go see mummy.
Oh.
Go find mum. See you later. Sorry about that.
Yes, I mean the 30mm will be exactly that height, and on that basis, I think a 30mm stacked in that configuration is going to look pretty cool.
Yeah, because it's definitely going to be one of the smallest, if not the smallest stacked.
Yeah, definitely. Because
it's not really going to add that much, really, is it? Being realistic.
It's going to be 65mm longer, which is a battery. So you're talking height of an 18, 650, 26, 650.
Yeah, it's going to be tiny. See, that then would appeal to the lads who want to chuck clouds but don't want a massive mod. But then it goes, you see, there's so many options, like we've always said about the ME, and I've always said this, and I'll be open and honest with it. It appeals to women and men because it is a pocket rocket for the lads, but it's so petite and small and nice and fits in your pocket and whatnot for women. So something like that, I think, yet again, would step the vapor to the next level, being a woman. So I'll be honest, I've never seen a woman with a stack dirty. I've seen them with stack Empress, stack cleaner, but I've never seen a woman with a stack dirty.
Oh, yeah. Adele's got triple stacked, and Maria Sonna, is it that?
Oh, Maria has, yeah.
Got a triple or a quad, mate. She's fucking hardcore, she is.
Yeah, she's crazy, is that Maria, yeah? Yeah, I'm lying. So there's two girls, but I think having that sort of the Emmy size in the stack version would be sick.
Well, I'm thinking that, like, we've got...
Carry on.
We've got potentially... Hello, Bobbette.
You want to talk to Paul?
Hello, Paul.
We're doing a live show. We're going to go see Mummy.
No.
We've got to go see Mummy. You can't be in here. See, this is proper endless banter. It's a flag. Right, then he's going. Somebody loves their dad. Look at that. See you later. I'll be 2 seconds. Sorry about that, Daddy's little girl. Daddy's girl. Sorry, everybody. Oh, so cute, nice. Mini Tom looks not like me. No. Here, I'm just looking through the comments. Oh, she's so cute. Together for the Emmy. Paul, you should take a photo of the necks together from the Emmy right up to the dirty. We've been talking about the evolution.
We've got some pictures being done at the moment of the V1. Mate, bring her in if you want to. It's not a problem.
Right, be quiet. Right, shush. Carry on, Paul.
Poppy. Shh.
Let Paul talk. Paul's going to talk.
Yeah, we've got the V1. We've got the clean. We've got the cleaner. No, sorry, the V2. Then the cleaner. Then the dirty. The Empress. The Emmy. So I've got all of them mods somewhere. I've got them all in the house somewhere. The 001s and triple O's and whatever they are. So we are working on some new images for the booth at Expo, which will show everything from the first mod up until the latest mods. The only thing is, I don't think we'll get the newest mods pictured in time for the artwork to go on the booth. So we might just get some roller banners done of the 24s and the 30s and
Milk.
You want some milk?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go get some milk then. 2 seconds.
no problem. Your miss is going to give you a beating for upsetting her. I'd love her to say like shit.
Abby? Yeah.
So, I mean, Jack who's doing the photography, he's working on some 360 images as well. So actually, with the 360 cameras in the middle of the circle of mods, and then you can literally just scroll through the picture and the mods will rotate around. That's pretty cool.
I still here? Am I still live?
You are.
Quiet now. Sorry about that, everybody.
Where have you put her under the stairs?
In Harry Potter's house under the stairs, I'm telling you now. Get under there. No, I think we want about doing the evolution because a lot of people don't know what's been previous. You know, as we're talking about the version 1 cloud cap, a lot of people haven't even seen that. So I would definitely love to show everybody what has been done. It would definitely be great to see the evolution. As I said to you, I wanted to do the evolution on the back wall with all the mods. I have got all the mods down here, but I think seeing the evolution of the styles, because it's definitely a change in styles as well, as much as the actual device itself changing.
Absolutely.
You know, from when the first cloud cap come out and you were saying about it being able to handle stacked compared to what we're hitting now with stacks, it's totally different to how it was when it first. Because another thing people don't know, Endless was the very first stack on the market. Whatever anybody else wants to say or wants to claim anything, Endless was the very first stack mod on the market. So anybody else who wants to claim that it wasn't, and there was another one, no, you're lying. Endless was the very first one to do it. And it's sort of, people don't realize the sort of style of vaping then was literally cloud chasing. That's all it was. It wasn't about the flavor. It was literally who's got the biggest fucking lungs, who's got the biggest clouds, and that's what all it was about. And now it's such an evolution of changing to where we are with the Emmy, with it being 100% flavor, and people, you still get that cloud production, but it's not necessarily just about the cloud production. You know, you can get a nice cloud off it, and it does give off a lot of production, but the main aim and the main game of it is flavor.
Yeah. You know, I think
Here's a good question for you, Paul.
so.
Says Sam Yates says, Paul, which of the Endless range are you the most proud of? And I know answer to this, I think.
You know what? The most proudest one that he's my first one. It has to be my first one, and to launch that mod at a time where tube use was probably its lowest ever at that time of the industry, and we launched 100 sets. We sold out in one evening. It blew me away that there was 100 people out there that were prepared to support me. And to be honest, every time we bring out a new product, it's mad to think that 2.5 years on now we're still, you know, I don't know. I think I was really proud of the Empress. I was really proud that we were the first people, mod-wise, to be working on a 2700 mod. I was proud of the fact we were the first company to box up and sell a stack kit. We were the first company, I believe, and someone might correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think so. We were the first company to sell a 25mm mod and RDA, because when Rogue dropped the 25mm, they didn't actually have the Air Force available right at the start.
No.
Kennedy dropped the 25mm mod without the 25mm Kennedy. We actually dropped it at the same time. And it's like, for how small a company we was, to be sort of, I mean, let's not make no bones about this, Tom. We used the essence of a goon cap for our slammer. But for me personally, I don't like the clamp system of a goon. I don't like clamp system full stop. And I didn't think that the airflow on the goon was adequate enough for the clamp system. That clamp system's there to put some dirty arse cores in it. I don't believe that the 3 air holes either side was enough for that.
Yeah.
When we done the slammer, it was about one. I still think the V2S deck is one of the most straightforward decks to use on the market today. Still believe that. But people have gone for clamps and up and downs and this, that, and the other. I still believe the V2S is one of the easiest decks to build on that's still out there. You look at the Slam cap. Look how many people have used that style of cap since. The Druga is a Slammer.
Yeah.
The Druga cap fits our fucking deck. It's got the same size air hole as a Slammer. It's the same height as a Slammer. It's got a different post configuration, but it's actually got our externals are the same, nigh on identical. And there's lots of caps thereafter that are pretty much based around what we done with the Slammer. We stacked the mod, and I had hundreds of inbox messages saying it's irresponsible.
Yeah, I remember that.
Within 5 months, every cunt in the world was stacking the mods. And we've done the 2700, and people were rushing to beat us to the punch. People rushed to beat us to the punch because we were the first people in the world to have posted on social media with me using a 2700 before anyone else had even thought about it. Or if they had thought about it, they'd thought about it after I went public very early on and says 2700 batteries are coming, we're doing it. Now, like I says I don't know if it was on this show or whether it was on a live feed, we were probably too keen with the 2700. I'm not revisiting the 2700 until 2700 days are readily available. Then what we'll do is we might even look at relaunching the clean and the cleaner as a 2700 option.
Mm.
At this minute in time, I don't think we're going to reproduce any more clean and cleaners and dirties. I don't think. So that's news to Tom. That
is news to me, yeah.
Just on the basis that the clean mod now is getting on for 2 years old, and the new 25mm mod, in my opinion, supersedes that mod. On that basis, it's not necessarily needed to have both of them mods in production.
Yeah.
However, if 2700A becomes available, maybe we'll revisit the clean and the cleaner and do them as 2700s. There's more than enough material on a 25mm mod to run it. Well, fucking hell, the Empress curves into just over 22mm to take a 2700, which is getting on for 21mm diameter. It's actually over 20.5mm, 2700 is. And with the iJaw wrap on it, it's actually 20.7mm. So we're very close to 21mm on a 25mm external body. So it can be done. Paul, which of the instruments are you most proud of? The Empress is stunning. The shape of it is Phil. The whole Empress is stunning. Thank you, Claire. The best form of flattery in person.
The cleaner is to me is the Swiss Army knife of mech. It can do everything, and the flavour goes to the end.
Yeah, no, but then I think if you put if you run the clean mod with the version 1 endless the hourglass on there, flavour is probably better than the ME in some senses, or certainly up there with it. The flavour off the V1 hourglass is exceptional. But again, we launched that at a time where people were running 0.07 builds.
Yeah.
And you put that inside the hourglass 1, and it just got too hot because there's so much material left in the top half of the RDA because it's domed inside, and although it's got the curves and that, it's all solid from the fucking air hole upwards pretty much. I can remember Chris Hannigan winning a cloud comp with a 0.1 build in a fucking hourglass V1. And I was like, mate, how the fuck have you even done that? Obviously, the thing is, if you can get the right wicking in that, because the air hole was so restricted, you get a massively dense cloud, but it also gets very, very hot. Very hot. So, but I mean, I'm proud of what we've done. I'm proud of that. If we decided to hang up tomorrow and knock it all on the head, we've made some waves in an industry that was saturated with product, and people know who we are, and people see our logo and know what it is. And we've not even got a single marking on this to say who makes the mod. And you post that on social media, they'll tell you it's an endless mod. On that basis, that's pretty special to me. So yeah, I mean, I'm proud generally of what we've achieved. The first mod was a bit mad, and it was one of the maddest moments of the last 2.5 years. He's going on holiday and seeing someone using one of my mods at the circus, and he come in and saying to me, "Fucking hell, you Paul from Endless Mods, ain't you, mate?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I've got your mod. How do I adjust the switch?" And I took his switch apart and I done it for him, and I knew he was sort of without sounding like, again, pretentious, I knew he was chuffed that he'd met me, but actually I took 5 minutes out of my life to show him how to adjust his switch. But I walked away and said to Tash, how mad's that? Actually, a product that we've made, he's that geezer's just standing there vaping on it, and he knows who I am. And then obviously when we went to the expos and people start coming up and saying, can I just have 2 minutes, or I just want to say thank you for this, or whatever it is, them things are special to me, genuinely. I'm not blowing smoke up no one's arse. I'm not trying to pretend to be like the hero of vaping. Them situations are special, and it means a lot that people invest in us. And I try and invest back in all the other people by doing what we do, being available on social media 7 days a week, and doing this live show and bringing like the margin that we're making on the Emma is lower than any margin we've made on any mod to date. And that was really because we were doing something completely brand new. And then two, I'm like, well, if we can do something that makes someone else buy a Met mod that weren't going to buy a Met mod, should we do it? Again, the 24 mil, I believe, is going to be about 99.99. It's going to be under 100 quid for the mod and the RDA. The 30 mil is going to be around about 130. So again, they're all considerably cheaper than the cleaner, the dirty. You know what I mean? We're bringing our margins down to actually make it more affordable. And in my opinion, we're producing better gear than what we was.
I think there's always been that price point affordable. You know, you can see higher mods spend $5,000 on mods and 350 quid on singular mods and stuff. You look at ours, and I think it's generally always been affordable, and that's one of the main points. And I think, you know, people can see the point that you've not sat there and tried to rip people off by bringing out a £300 mod, and you've always been affordable, and Endless has always been able for people to be able to spend out their pocket and not be able to put shoes on the kids' feet. You know, I think that's the main point of good product.
When we launched the cleaner in aluminium, I think off the top of my head, it's £109.99 for an aluminium cleaner.
Yeah.
The mod, the Stackham, the RDA. As a retail outlet, we used to sell the AV Stackham, or the Stackable it was called, on its own, 110 quid.
Yeah.
For the stacked extension to make your AV stacked. And by the time you bought us fucking stock brass AV and stuck a posh sleeve on it and a mod father and a battle deck, you were into 350 quid for a mod. Then you stuck a Stackham on it. It doesn't come with, it comes with a carbon sleeve. So by the time you've stuck a Stackable on there and you've put your fucking new sleeve on there, another 140,
yeah,
you're getting on towards £400 worth of kit. And we were dropping the whole line, the mod, the Stackable, the Stackham, sorry, and the RDA and the deck for £109.99. And there's still people that says, fucking ripping off, man. They've made it in China. They should be able to sell it for 7 pence. They're just morons. And they're saying, oh, I know what a clone costs to produce in China. Bear in mind, we used a company for our first run that was a clone company that we bought a hell of a lot of product off, hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of product off, that I knew were more than capable of producing a clone for me to a level that I would be satisfied with. We made 100 mods, but we also launched an RDA and a deck at the same time. We also launched 12 colour options in sleeve singles, sleeve stacked, in top caps, drip tip. We've done the whole fucking 9 yards and went balls deep on a product I didn't even know was going to sell.
Mm.
I do not get them mods made, manufactured, boxed in our stuff with our designs for $18. And anyone that thinks I do is an absolute prat. When they run a clone mod, for argument's sake, I know for a fact when they made the Rig V3 clone, they run 25,000 units off.
Fuck.
Because then they're distroing them worldwide, 25,000 units. So if they sell them, I could buy the clone Rig V3 set with RDA, and these were one-to-one clones, and I mean threading on them. You could take the top cap off the authentic and put it onto the clone. The screws in the deck were identical because I know they'd been to the Shenzhen e-cigarette show and bought a fucking Rig V3, took it back, 3D scanned it, and made the cunt. It was a proper one-to-one. I could buy the kit with the RDA, with the deck, for about $24, boxed in a clone rig box, $24. Rig had just launched it and selling it at 150, 160 or whatever it was.
I don't think it was, yeah.
We were selling the clone for fucking 35 quid. I paid more than £35 for the mods, for our mods to be made, because I can't remember what the biggest run is we've ever done in one singular order. But we went through a stage last year where, and you know yourself, we were like, literally, we'd get an order in, and by the time it had landed in the UK, I'm placing orders for another fucking 2,000 mods, and that's how the stuff was coming in back to back non-stop. We're running out of decks, we're running out of top caps, we were ordering more stuff. It was just continual. But I don't order 10,000 mods in one go because I'm not a prat. And actually, 10,000 mods is a lot of mods to sell of one style of mod. Do you know what I mean? So for everyone,
100%, especially when there's literally you, Tash, and me, and the lads in the shop. There's not, we're not a multinational fucking company that's selling fucking thousands and thousands of things every fucking day. There's not loads of us sat behind a computer or out in sales. You know what I mean? It's the fact at the end of the day, people realize that Endless is a fucking family-grown business, and that is how it is.
I'm happy where we are. I'm happy with the figures that we're selling. I'm happy with where the business is. If it went multinational and made me a multi-millionaire, I'm not saying I wouldn't be happy about that. But I'm not striving to do that. I'm just striving to be the best at what we can do at the level that we're doing it. Sam's just said, was you ever scared that no one buying your mech before you launched the first Endless? Obviously, we put 25,000 quid we put into that project when we first started it. £25,000 is a lot of money by anyone's standards, no matter what money you've got around you. 25 grand's a lot of money to take on the chin. 25 grand was a lot of money for me to convince Tasha that what I was about to try, I believed in, and I thought we could succeed. The one reason why I always felt that we would be successful, maybe not even with that first mod, but that to me was a massive learning curve for me about, one, getting the product right, working with China, getting samples off them, and then when you get the finished product, it's just not quite the same. And all these things cost us a lot of money. But I knew that the market at that particular, bearing in mind, I had one of the biggest limitless collections in the UK.
Huge.
Worth many thousands of pounds. Some of them sleeves were bought and sold for more than just the sleeves were bought and sold for more than my whole Endless kit. So on the basis that we sold the first kit for $99.99, I knew that we'd sell them mods. I knew that I'd sell them. I didn't expect to sell them in the night, and I didn't expect people to be scrapping over serial numbers and saying, fuck him, I need the mod, man. I need number 27 or whatever it was. That obviously gives you a massive confidence boost. And I remember the night that we launched them and says, right, they're available, and we sold out completely. And I remember Tasha saying to me, I'm really proud of what you've done. And I was a bit like, it's mad. We launched it on the date of my dad's birthday. And that was more just a little personal thing. She was like, you come up to bed, and I says, am I fuck? I'm just about to order another fucking 300 of these cunts from China. And actually, we only done 700 of the V1 because we'd done 100, and then we'd done 2 batches of 300. Then I started working on the Clean mod and the Hourglass mod, and the Hourglass mod was never released because I actually come up with the design before I'd ever seen a timekeeper. Genuinely, I'd never seen a timekeeper. So we'd done pretty much a timekeeper style mod, but with our switch on the bottom, it had, I'm trying to think whether it had an enclosed, I've got the sample here somewhere, I dug it out the other day. It might have had an external top cap on it, like the Emma, as did the original Clean mod, but then I decided to go with the inset hybrid, only because you've obviously got one less join.
Yeah.
Join. And then I seen the timekeeper, and I was like, I can't do it. And that's why we were going to call the mod the Hourglass mod and the Hourglass RDA, which is why the Hourglass RDA carried on, because actually we used it on the Clean mod. We launched it with the Clean mod. And again, the reason for the Clean mod was there was just nothing out there at the time that was just a basic, straightforward tube. everyone had tried to take everything to the next level. And actually, I do genuinely believe that Endless was responsible for people's habits of spending 500 quid on tubes changed. Because for as much hate as we got as a business, because we sold clones in the shop and because it's Chinese made and because Paul's a fucking arsehole, there was people that sort of had dismissed what we were going to do before we'd even tried to do it. Then there were some people that, as we took some momentum and we started to gather momentum and people started to sort of believe in what we were doing and people started to take a punt in what we were doing, there was people that I knew were buying them. What's happened here? Are you still there, Tom? Hello? No, I haven't got a clue what's going on here. Because are you back?
No idea.
Your fucking internet shit.
I just saw you. Going back to the what was the first expo that what did you launch at the very first expo that Endless did?
The clean mod. So we launched the V1 in the November of 2015.
Yeah.
We launched the clean mod in the May. Actually, we launched it at Expo. We'd not sold any prior, apart from to the, I think maybe 12 mods had gone out, 7 with family and staff, and 5 to very specific Dale had some off me and people like that. And we sold out. I think I can't remember exactly what we had on that first run. I'm thinking we had 800 mods, which would have been 200 black colour chains, 200 brass, 200 copper, 200 silver plated. So we sold out the 800 mods over the course of that weekend at Expo, which was just mind blowing. And during Expo, we pretty much sold out of sleeve mods, which would have been the 700 of that sleeve mod. While I was at Expo, during the weekend of Expo, I was actually messaging China, making the changes to the V2 sleeve mod, which basically was adding the switch to the bottom, the locking switch to the bottom, the lady button or the Tasha button or whatever anyone wants to call it. Also increased the length of the firing pin by 1.2 mil, so it was a shorter throw. And we changed the chamfer on the 510 hybrid to 24 mil instead of 22 mil. Which genuinely should have happened on the first release mod, and it just didn't happen because China are cunts. And because we'd left it so late to order and whatever, and I'd set this date of the 26th of November in my mind because it was my dad's birthday, I just rolled with it in the end. I said, you know what, just send them out to me. And then we changed that on the V2. Then we launched the clean mod, then launched the V2 come out after Expo.
Because I remember at Expo, what I was going to say is, I remember at Expo is people were saying, I remember because I wasn't working at Endless at the time, people were saying, where's Paul and where's Endless? And all you had to do was just point, and there was a fucking queue for Endless mods. I remember it like it was
crazy. It was
you had it was a 3v3, wasn't it? It was a 3v3, I remember it. You had the wooden desk at the front, and you had the little pop-up banners, and I remember it like yesterday, and it was constant. It was literally, where's Endless? Just there. Just look for that fucking queue.
Your sound's gone all funky as well, Tom.
Has my sound gone funky?
Yeah, it's all crackly and shit. Now I can't hear fuck all. I can't hear.
What about now?
Oh, he's back in the room and perfect. Yeah, I mean, you know yourself, that May Expo. Mate, I can't remember what it cost us to vend at Expo that May. Now, bearing in mind, we'd obviously invested a lot of money in Enders to start off with. We invested 25,000 quid. We only sold £10,000 worth of mods for the 100 mod sets because they were 99 quid each. The other 15 grand was just for accessories. So even though we sold that 100 mods overnight, and then I had to order 300 mods, and then we sort of started selling out of them, and I ordered another 300 mods ready for Expo. Then we launched the clean with 800 mods, and we launched the V2 standard. In fact, we launched the V2, and we had the Velocity style deck. We launched straight after. We launched the mod with the 4-post deck.
Yeah.
The doubled centre post, 2 outside posts. Then we launched the Velocity deck straight after. So that was another investment where we had to have 500 decks made, which don't sound like a lot of money, but it don't take long to start racking up. 500 decks,
Right.
7.5, 10 grand, whatever it is. Then we put in an order for the next lot of sleeve mods. But by now, I've probably got the 2 prototypes of the Hourglass mod and the Clean mod. And when we ordered them, we also put the V2S deck out. Sorry, the V2 deck.
It was a V2, and then obviously you put in the stainless.
Then we silver plated it, which made it the V2S, but actually come out as a V2 first. And we bought out the Hourglass cap. We bought out the Slam cap. Then we bought out the V2 mod. Then we bought out the Endless Cloud V2, which was much squattier, and it only had the angled airflow on there, which still is a fantastic cap. The only fuck up I done on that was not put an 810 drip tip hole in it. And that was me trying to be a little bit smart, thinking, oh, fuck them, we'll put our own size in and we'll bring our own drip tips out. And that was me probably being a bit greedy, if I'm being honest, thinking, well, we'll just sell our own drip tips and people will either buy them or not. So that was a fuck up on our behalf. Then we launched the cleaner. Then we launched the V2S. Then we launched the Slam'em. And we launched the Slam'em in 12 colours again. So we launched the mod in stainless steel, copper, silver-plated copper. We done it in purple, Bear Alley, black. I can't remember if there's brass, copper, plated, stainless, black alley, purple alley, bare aluminium. So that's 7.
7.
There's 7 colours in the mod. I think there's 12 colours in the cap because there was pink,
red, blue,
which were all colours of the mod we were going to launch, and we decided not to in the end. So we launched 12 coloured caps. We launched 7 coloured mods. Then we're still having to reorder stock. So every time we've launched a brand new range of mods, there's another £20,000 worth of investment because
between this you've done painted, you've done Cerakote, we've done all different ones as well.
When we done the cleaner launched, sort of properly launched at Expo in the October. Then, so that was. What did we'd already launched the cleaner mod when you joined us?
Yes.
So I think we launched that in the October. Then during that time prior to that, I'd had the sample 34mm sleeve modding because that's what we were going to do, which ultimately Endo beat me to the punch on it because I was a bit like, oh, people are going to want something this size. And then
but stupidly, and I'll say this, I'm not fussed. They didn't release an idea for it, and the only idea that fitted on it was the Slammer 34.
Yep.
And that was for a long time.
Yeah, which I've never got to this day. I've never got a company launch, even the Dragon, 28mm, and people are having to machine dodgy goon caps to fit the goon deck to have a 28mm flush cap. I didn't get it. If you're going to do a 28mm mod, put a 28mm RDA out there or something that looks right on the mod. So we've never ever gone in half-assed. We just haven't. We just always tried to do it properly. And we launched the Dirty. Before we launched the Dirty, I'd got the prototype of the Empress. And it's been continual, to be fair. It's been non-stop. And after the Dirty. I think, in fact, we launched the Dirty. The Dirty became available in April last year because I'd got it just before Jam.
Yeah.
And it sort of properly launched at Expo along with the Empress. And we had the Empress launched at April time as well. Then we launched the Neos as a limited edition at Expo. And then we've not really done nothing then for the rest of the year. But to be fair, we had a fair downturn. And just took 25, 30 grand at each design is a lot of money to risk when an industry's not doing thriving as well as it was. And I had the idea for the Emmy for a long time. We discussed that exact design idea with iJoy when we looked at collabing with iJoy. Them motherfuckers bought a mod out of that design because they're cunts like that. It's not exactly the same as the Emmy because there's massive flaws in the design that they've got of that mod because they just half-assed picked up what we spoke about. But I just didn't feel the Emmy was right to launch until we've just launched it now. I felt it was the right time, and I feel like people's use of mech stuff is better than it was, and it fits in with the squonking style of vaping. And now I'm ready to look at the new 24, 25mm, the 30mm, and actually do something funky again and get back. The 24 and the 30mm will both be stackable. The reality is that this can be stacked.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for a stack section to come just to fuck about and see what it's like and see if it's worth doing. And we'll see. We'll just see what happens over this next year. But then we've got the wire, we've got the liquids, we've got the cotton, which I need to speak to you about afterwards because I don't know where we are with the cotton samples, if we've got anywhere with cotton samples.
Don't even ask. It is like talking to a brick wall. I think going back to what you were saying about the market having a slump, I generally think we're at the point where it was oversaturated. I think there's a set point that set the industry where it was because of saturation. I don't know how you feel about that. And I don't think, I'm not saying saturated by us. I mean, the industry.
I just think, for what I've seen in 6 years, 7 years of me personally vaping, is that the industry seems to go around full circle regular. And the sort of explosion of sub-ohm devices, regulated sub-ohm devices, 3 to 4 years ago, whenever that went madly mental. Then 2 years later, the tube market went crazy. And most of them people started off on a regulated sub-ohm device. But then they started to understand Ohm's law and what to do with Ohm's law, and then they went on to mech. During the time where we were booming on mech, there's still a huge amount of newcomers coming into that market as smock alien style users.
Yeah.
Sub-ohm devices. I feel like some of them now are on the move across to a mech to see what it's about. And I think by the middle of this year, Summit is always a tube in the Summit is cooler than fucking anything, in my opinion. Cooler than any regulated mod. It's a cool thing to carry around. They look the bollocks. They work well. You get your build right, it'll perform better than any regulated device. Again, that's my personal opinion, but I don't personally like an RDA on a regulated box because I can never get it to work the same as a mech. I think we just went down that bit of a lull while people, and during that lull, we also seen a massive upturn in mouth-to-lung vaping devices sold through the shop, where people just seem to go back to basics. There's a lot of people now, including myself. I haven't used a mech properly since May last year, where up until that point, I was meching every single day. I was building every day. I was fucking about. And then I walked out of Expo with an Empress, the Neo Empress with the RDA on it. And on the Monday, I phoned the shop and got someone to drop me off a Neo coil. And I built it, and it's still on my desk at work. It's what I use at work sometimes. So that what we're getting on for 7, 8, 9 months. I've been using the same mech until this, and I've used it every day. We built the quad stacked 4 Expo in October as a gimmick, really, just to have something different. I enjoy using the quad stack because it vapes fucking mint.
Yeah, flavour-wise, it's wicked.
Smooth, the flavour's banging on it. It's just too big to carry around all day. But I do feel like I've sort of got my mojo back where mechs are concerned, and I'm enjoying building again. I'm actually enjoying fucking about with that deck. I'm enjoying fucking about with the new wire samples that we've got in and trying different things and seeing where we are and what we're doing. And it's all good, man. It's all good.
Ian Anderson here says, I'm going to be honest, mech tubes really don't float my boat. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. Seeing what the Emmy does, it's got me really interested in getting one. I think that's done it to a lot of people. I generally do think the Emmy has changed a lot of people's minds on mechs. I do. I think it's definitely becoming the last, well, sort of the I wouldn't say there's a boom, but there's more of a rise of interest in mech mods. And as Paul's saying, obviously people that have been using regulated devices are now doing that full circle where they're interested in mechs.
Yeah.
But it's not just necessarily the mech market or the mech industry or people making mechs or whatever. I think it's also an influx in vapors and their change in their style of vaping. And you know,
100%. That's what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, in the last 12 months, and in fact, it probably a little bit longer. If you go back to October 2017, when Eric was at the expo, and me and Eric spoke on a personal level, and 6 days later, AV and Eric were in the biggest shitstorm in the vaping industry ever to fucking hit the world. It was mad. And actually, what that done was, I genuinely feel like the AV, Endo, or HDNE drama split the community straight down the fucking middle. And people were like going, oh, Eric's the best thing since sliced bread, and his sister's a cunt. And other people were saying Eric's a cunt and his sister's right to do what she's done. And it seemed that from that point on, things changed. People were hand checking certain mods and getting tore a new arsehole because it weren't a HDNA. Or then Eric launched the Endo and the EXO, and they were like fucking $800, and it was like they're taking the absolute piss. Now, to be fair, during that time, we thrived. We was at our busiest period at this point last year, and we continued to grow and we continued to fill a gap. And also during that fallout, there was people using our mods that would never have used them at the peak of the AV thing. They just wouldn't, because they didn't get enough hand checks and all that sort of shit. And
I was going to mention that, but I didn't feel like how he was going to feel about me mentioning it. I mentioned the fact that people who would never hand check an endless were using an endless day to day as a day-to-day user, and people wouldn't hand check it because it wasn't a £400-500 mod. And I think now the industry's definitely changed. Well, the vapor's definitely changed. The fact is that a lot more hand checks are relevant, and they're not just an expensive mod. I think that whole image of using expensive mods has sort of gone away. And as you said earlier, I definitely think Endless was one of the reasons why, because people thought, well, I can get something that works just as good, if not fucking better, for a quarter of the price. So it's I've asked the chat if they want to ask any questions, and the first question that come up was Sam Yates. Would you consider another Endless tour?
Fucking now, you know what? I actually genuinely really enjoyed doing it. It's hard. It's long. It killed 8 weekends in the summer where, quite honestly, I'd rather spend the weekend with my missus and my kids. But I mean, I was fortunate enough that Tash come to 6 out of the 8, I think, out of them too. So we got to spend the night together, which is, and it's in a different vibe. And you know yourself, you came to all but 1 or 2 of them yourself.
I only put every single one but one. I didn't go to Hereford.
Yeah, so the vibe in all of them meets was exceptional. It was wicked. It was proper old school. And to be fair, very much like the vibe Dale had in his shop a few weekends ago. It was just an old school vape meet. It was good, and I enjoyed it. But I'd rather just do a random one, I would, than actually say, right, on this date we're going there, and on this date we're doing this, because I hate that regimented thing. I'm not a regimented person. So then when I get close to the date and I'm going, fucking hell, it's 26 degrees outside and I don't want to travel to fucking Cardiff, I've got to because we're committed to doing it. That's what I don't like about it. But I really enjoyed being there and I enjoyed doing what we were doing. And I enjoyed the vibe and it was good. It was really, really good.
Sam, I'll also add to that, Sam. Me, Paul, and Tash, and everybody have sort of had a talk before, and we've said if anybody actually wants to hold a meet at the Dudley shop, because it is such a big shop, and if you have a Facebook group and you want to organise a Facebook group meet at a shop and you need a venue to hold it at, that shop is available for people to use. So if anybody wants to hold a cloud comp or do a little tour, then the shop's there to be used.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Sam, if you think you're doing a tour, mate, consider us. We'll host it.
Well, providing we're around, I don't even mind coming and putting in some prizes for the cloud comps or whatever you want to do. But actually, the shop's a big old shop not to be taken advantage of, really. So.
Exactly. Aaron Butler says, is there a regulated mod in the pipeline?
Now, again, the thing with the regulated mod is the company that make our mech mods for us haven't got the technology that's needed to make regulated devices. One thing that we are looking at doing is manufacturing all the component parts in China and then manufacturing the chipsets in the UK. So we'll actually design and manufacture our own chipsets through another company, which is owned by a friend of mine who does full chip design and IT backup in the UK. I'm thinking of silly things like making our chipset compatible with Mac and Windows for updates. There's not a chipset out there that does it, I don't believe, unless DNA and SX have sorted their shit out. But most of them are only upgradable through Windows. I'd say that 80% of social media users are using some sort of Mac device of some nature. So we are literally at the moment just doing some CAD work on the series and the parallel box. Obviously, once we've got that design cracked, then they will lend themselves perfectly well to a regulated device by adding an extra, whatever it is, 12 mil on the width of it to carry the chipset. And we can design a chipset to do what we want it to do. So
it's been different in the chipset. At the end of the day, you can buy a regulated mod and it does what it does. I think in a regulated market, there's definitely got to be something unique about the chipset, without a doubt. To release to somebody of an independent sort of way that we are, to release a regulated mod, the chip has to be beyond fucking anything that's out there.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I love the SX chip over the DNA chip. And yet, for me personally, the DNA chip performs better than the SX chip. It's too fucking complicated for me personally. And not because I'm a thick cunt. I just don't want to have a science degree in computer studies to operate my fucking mod. I just want to be able to press a button and it do what I want it to do. And if
it's sort of too customizable, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's obviously some people that like that. I like the fact that you can put your own pictures on it, but we can do that with a bog standard chipset. And by bog standard, I'm talking a button to turn your watts up and a button to turn your watts down. I'm not even sure that I'd go temperature control on it. I don't think it's needed. I don't think temperature control ever took off the way it should have done.
No.
Temperature control should have took off. It was a good thing for vapors. It was a good thing to stop dry heats. It was clever. I think it was made too complicated. That's my personal opinion. So I'm happy to go regulated. It just needs to be the right regulated device. It needs to do the right things. And
100%. Pixie said, what are you planning for the next live feed comps? Well, let's just say hashtag fuck off numbers and animal games. Let's just say that. Whenever we do a comp again on Facebook, it will be fucking brutal. Let's just put it like that. Simple as. Paul will just sit there and giggle while I make sure that I'm evil as fuck.
what you have to do, it don't matter if it's £50 mod or £400 mod, it's what people are happy with. Absolutely. And my argument has never ever been with someone using a clone or using a £6,000 stabilised wood device. It's the fact that both ends of them scales, you've got people who go, what sort of prick could spend 600 quid on a mod? And you've got the £600 modding spenders saying, what sort of wanker would use a clone device? For me, use whatever you're comfortable using. If that's a clone mod that costs you 12 quid, knock yourself out. If it's an endless that starts at 60 quid, knock yourself out. You can now get the full set, the ME set for £75, mod RDA, ready to go. Do what you want to do. If you want to spend fucking £400 on an alley rogue, buy yourself an alley rogue. It's absolutely horses for courses, and some people are happy blowing their dough on what they want to blow it on, and some people ain't. And I've never got that whole, not even so much the elite thing, it's the attitude of them people. It's just as horrible as the attitude of the people that's slagging off the people that are spending big money. It's just as horrible in the people that are spending big money slagging off the people spending nothing.
I'll be honest, and I'll put my hands up, and I've been suckered into it, massively suckered into it before. But now with my vaping style and the way I see people vaping, it shouldn't fucking matter what people are using. It should matter if they're off the fags and they're not using fucking unsafe shit, then it don't really matter what they're fucking using. You know, it's not 2014 where you couldn't fucking put a clone up. But I'll be honest though, Paul, and I don't know what you think about it, but I believe clone has slowed down a little bit.
You know what's mad? We obviously, if we go back 4 years, we were probably one of the biggest sellers of clone devices in the UK. And we were renowned for selling clone, and we used to wholesale clones with the companies, and we were bringing in a hell of a lot of clone product. And two things happened. One is that China upped their game and actually started producing authentic stuff. So if you go back prior to Watofo bringing out the Troll, actually Watofo was a clone company, EH Pro was a clone company, H Cigar was a clone company, Rulian was a clone company, etc., etc., etc. Sig Green, I think they also make like the 7 box and stuff like that, but they were a clone company. Who made the Turbo? Tobacco. Tobacco made some of the best clones that we'd ever sold in our shop. And I never, ever understood why they didn't make authentic products until we started selling various products. And you realise that there's still a huge amount of snobbery involved in vaping. And people would rather spend 18 quid on a clone Kennedy than spend £22 on an authentic Watofo or authentic tobacco. So on that basis, from a business point of view, and also from a point of view where I'd never, ever wanted to sell out to the people that supported us, we continued to stock clone, but we also started to introduce as much high-end stuff as we could get in that shop and cater for all the markets. Then I started messing with Endless, and then we launched Endless, and then Endless became what Endless became. During that journey, I became friends with the likes of Max. I became friends with the likes of Tom O'Connell. I became friends with people that make authentic devices that got cloned, and I wouldn't stock the clone because of my alliance to them as a friend. And we've never stocked the Rose stuff, for argument's sake, from Eden Mods. We've never stocked the clones of them because it was UK made. We've never stocked the Sherman because Tom was a UK company. I never stocked none of the Death Wish clone stuff because my friendship with Max. And actually, as a business, our clone turnover dropped considerably. Now, what's mad is we put the Google Analytics onto the website about 6 weeks ago, prior to the launch of the Emma. And our most hit up sections of our website up until yesterday afternoon was our clone section, followed by the Emma at this particular point 6 weeks in, followed by authentic mods, regulated and unregulated, and then other Endless products. But actually the most hit up sections was all clone devices, and yet we've got very little clone stocking. And quite honestly, from a business point of view, something that I'll be revisiting over the next week is what clone products we'll be stocking again to cater for them people that can't afford to use even a £60 mod, but can afford a £28 clone mod.
Yeah.
And if that don't sit right with people, I couldn't give a fuck on the basis I've got to do what's right for our business, and I definitely want to make sure we service our customers to a level that we've always serviced them to, and I did lose some of my sort of vision of where we should be during the endless journey, but it is what it is, mate. And there's clone stuff out there selling, and you've got this whole, oh, if you use a clone, you're going to blow your face off. It's fucking stupid. It's a stupid comment to make. It fucking pisses me off. It's no more dangerous than the authentic, because in 9 times out of 10 cases now, they're made 1-to-1 from the authentic product. Not being funny, but a cheap ass smart crap mod would cost 70 to 80 quid. You can get decent gear for a decent price that works. Who cares?
Truth.
Off the poster. Or tonight's free.
Nikki Frazet said, is everyone happy with the old school vibe is coming back to the vaping community? 100% happy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy that the old school vibe's there. I think the reality is there's still a hell of a lot of clickiness in the industry. And even though like Mech Addiction as a page has become 5, 6, 8 times more active than it was 6 weeks ago, it's still very clicky on that page. It always will be, and I think it's going to take something quite significant for people to just say, you know what, fuck this, man. I don't care who's using what, where, and when, and what they're doing. But that said, generally, I think that it feels like the old school vibe's coming back a bit. I do want to put more meets on. I'm thinking that we'll run a meet, and we need to just check the dates, Tom. But I'm thinking the 1st of April, maybe a Saturday. But I'm thinking maybe we should have another meet at Dudley on the 1st of April, if that's when it is. So these are business decisions I'm making right here on a live feed. But I just thought the other day, I think the 1st or the 2nd should fall at this on a Saturday.
The first is a Sunday. It's the 7th. That's the Saturday.
So what's the date before that? What is it? The 30th?
The 31st
of March is the Saturday. So maybe we could do that one.
Look at that. Do it on 21st. My birthday's on 20th.
What?
It's my 30th on the 20th of April.
I can't, because it's also Ava's birthday on the 20th.
Oh, yeah.
So that can happen, mate. No, but obviously it's the end of the month as well, so people can come out and enjoy themselves a little bit. But it was just a thought I had earlier on that we should just set a date for the next vape meet. And then I want to sort of get some meets going over the summer to get people together. And I mean, for me personally, 100%, honestly, it's not about them coming to the shop and spending money. The reason why we do it around payday months is so you guys have got some money to come out and enjoy yourself without stressing. It's not just so you go to the till constantly and fucking fill the till up for us. It's not about that. But most people haven't got the money around them to do what they need to do, to even travel or get down or stay overnight or whatever else. So we always try and sort of arrange the meets around the end of the month. Maybe the 31st can work. Maybe we can talk about that tomorrow and see whether that's a possibility for you to come down for that.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we've got 10 minutes left, Thomas. We've got a competition to do.
You want to do a competition?
What? You knock yourself out, mate.
What we giving away?
You tell me.
What are we giving away? Well, let's just say we're very short on stock on Emmys, so I don't think we're giving an Emmy away.
Not enough stock to give any Emmys away, to be honest.
I'm thinking how we can do it. Because we can actually get somebody in on the live feed. I can actually send somebody a link to join us. It's just what I don't want to be brutal. I think it should be calm tonight.
I'm happy to go with whatever you want to do. If you're not in a brutal mood, we'll do a calm one.
Right. What I'll do is we'll do one for the viewers that are on here, So we're after. It can be done for after the actual live feed. What I want you to do is, I think it's going to be two things I want you to do. Actually, three things. There's three things, and I'm going to write down what I want you to do. And if you're on the live feed, you should know. If anybody else sees it and they've not seen this video, it's because you're actually in there. So it's actually for the viewers on here. What I want you to do. So I'm going to write it down. I want you to, first of all, I want you to share the YouTube channel on Facebook. I want you to also like the Endless page. And I want you to, old school, I'm going old school here, Paul. I want you to change your profile picture on Facebook to the Endless logo. Is what I want you to do. So I want you to share the YouTube, like the Endless page, and I want you to change your profile picture to the Endless logo. And I'm going old school with that one. That used to happen every Sunday when it used to be Vendors Day on Sundays. People used to change the Facebook profiles to whoever giveaway it was. So I want to go old school with this. And if you can change your profile picture to the Endless Mods, once you've done that and you've changed your logo to the Endless Mods, just tag me in it. So at me, so at Thomas Wood on Facebook. You all should have me on Facebook if you haven't had me, and then I know you've entered, and then I'll announce it next week. And when we did it the other time and we announced it after the show, remind me while we're on the show to actually do the giveaway, because we forgot it 2 weeks ago. We was that in depth in conversation. We then did the live show and didn't even tell you who'd won, so I had to do it on the page. So share the YouTube channel, share the Endless page, and change your profile picture. And this is for the people watching on the show. So if people start asking you why you're changing your profile picture, you've got less of a chance. So I'm already getting friends requests already. So yeah, that's your competition, guys. But we've got 5 minutes left. So as we said earlier, obviously we want to get another meet organised. For you guys watching, it'd be massively appreciated if you could come to the meet. The reason I'm saying that is because it's always nice to put a face to a name. We see names online and we see pictures on Facebook and whatnot, but the majority of the time, and this is honest, there's not a lot of people that would come to the meet or would come say hello at expos. And I'll be deadly honest, it is one of the most nice things to actually meet somebody you've been speaking to online. So if we do organise a meet, if you try your hardest, guys, to get to the meet, and as Paul said, it's not about filling the till, it's about having a good community, having a good laugh, having some great time. And this is the whole point we do these live feeds. We do this and come onto YouTube, we sit for 2 hours because we want to give something back to you guys and have a giggle. And that's the main aim of it. You know, I know this show's been very much endless because we have got a lot of products coming through that we are releasing in the next weeks and months. We are coming with a lot of products. But as I said at the beginning, we do want people to come on and be able to debate with us and have a chat with us and catch up with us. That's the whole point of it. You know, please don't be intimidated. We're not going to sit here and rip the piss out of you for 2 hours. We want to have a debate with you. We've had Dominic on before, who was just is a vapor. Tom Keane, obviously from Cloud Marshall, Bessie, Mark Sky High. We've had these guys on. We just want to get a viewer on or viewers on to come on and have a chat with us, because at the end of the day, you are the guys we're aiming for. You know, this is who we're talking to. We're talking to you guys who are not necessarily in the industry, but you're a vapor and you've got your opinions and you can debate with us. So that's what we would love to see from you guys. So that's my wrap up for this evening.
Yeah.
You know, there has been viewers fluctuating all night, but a lot of you have sat here and, you know, spoken chat to us and give us feedback and stuff like that. And that's the main thing that we do this for, guys. We don't do it because we want to sit here and fulfill our egos. We do this because we want to give back to you guys. You know, we don't monetize the channel and we don't do this and we don't do that. We just coming on and giving back to you guys. So we do appreciate every bit of comments you do on the channel and
We don't
and feedback.
monetize the channel for one reason. You need 1,000 subscribers, so fucking share the page. Fucking get all your fucking pals to subscribe so we can monetize. It just makes my life a little bit easier if I've got a check coming in every month for nothing.
It just pays for it anyways. Oh, fucking hell. Well, I've signed off, Paul. If you want to sign off, and
yeah, I mean, obviously, for the people that come and see, I mean, what was actually nice to see last week was people commenting around saying, "Oh, is there a show on tonight? Fucking hell, I've missed the show. It wasn't on." But we don't get massive viewers. We're getting sort of 300-400 views on the videos over the course of the week, and we've peaked at 70 or 80 live watchers during in the course of the show. But it's become a thing, and it's something that I want to do all the time is keep consistency of this channel up. And quite frankly, if Tom's not available in the future, I'll do it on my own. And if I'm not available, I'd like Tom to do it on his own. And if we can get to the point where we're 3 or 4 episodes ahead on what the content's likely to be, then actually, if I can't do it and you do it and you've still got the guest to do it, just keeps the consistency there, and vice versa. And it's just 2 hours a week for us all to get together and have a rattle. I definitely want a structure to the show to be more specific. So even if that's half an hour talking about current news being anything that's happened in the industry that out of the norm in the last week, and then have an hour with the guests, and then half an hour to shut down and have a fucking giggle and a laugh and a whatever. But if there's anyone watching that wants to discuss anything specific on the show, then hit Tom up.
Yeah.
The only thing you need to be able to join the show is Hangouts, which is available on phone or on PC. It's easy enough to get you involved in the live show. And that's it, really. I say it was just nice for people to say, "Oh, where's the show? I've missed it this week." And we're 4 weeks in or something like that, or 5 weeks in. So it's good that we're starting to sort of, people are looking forward to our Wednesday chatting shit for 2 hours, really. It's nice.
Yeah, it's definitely it's enjoyable. It's given me, and I've got the buzz back for it, and I'm loving doing it, and getting the feedback is amazing. You know, that's the point of it, and it's good to have a chat and to catch up, Paul. At the end of the day, you know, it's good to sit and put the world to rights for 2 hours. You know what I mean? It's the whole point.
No, definitely. It's good just to have a free for all. And I mean, tonight we didn't have much structure to the show because last week we didn't do a show. This week I've been madly busy. I've been in a meeting all day today, so me and Tom hadn't even spoke until 7 o'clock this evening to say what's happening on the show. But actually, just to have 2 hours of rattling and what we're doing and where we are and answering your guys' questions on there, that suits me just fine. I say we will work towards having more structure. I like the honesty, and you guys never dodge anything. I mean, to be fair, I've got nothing to dodge, to be honest. If you ask me, the only thing I'm not going to get involved in is just blatantly slandering other companies. There's companies out there that I think are a bunch of wankers and they deserve to have their shop set on fire. But it's not up to me to put it out there of who I think them companies are. They're doing what they do. I don't like the way they conduct themselves. I'm sure there's people don't like the way I conduct myself. I don't give a fuck. I'm sure they don't give a fuck. I'm not getting drawn into that bullshit. However, anything that I can answer honestly without causing a major shitstorm, I'll answer it honestly. I'm a pretty transparent guy. I say what I think, and that's it.
Yeah, this isn't a drama channel. This is meant to bring the old school back.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you guys have said tonight, we like enjoying bringing the old school vibe back, and that's what we want. 100%, that's what we want. Well, we'll sign out. We'll see you all next week.
Yeah.
If you've obviously seen the competition, remember what you need to do. Share the YouTube, share the Facebook, and change your profile picture to the Endless Mods and tag me, and then we'll announce the winner next week. Let me go see my little one. Paul will go see his little one. Let's get off. We'll see you all next week, guys. You take it easy.
So.
Night.